Good morning, this is totally random.
Featuring Franz Maruna and Andrew Embler.
Welcome to Totally Random, March 2nd, 2012, your weekly talk show about Concrete5 and the community and all sorts of good stuff that's happening. I'm Franz, this is Andy. Let's get right into it. We actually have some interesting news to talk about this week, so we'll do that. We'll get into the PRV and the karma stuff, and of course always end with our How Would You Do That Q&A session. So if you have sites you would like us to look at and tell you how we would do that, you should start posting those URLs in the chat room now, or if you have questions about what we're going to do next, or what we're not going to do next, or
some of you might
not, but think of your questions now, and then we won't be like, meh, see you later. So jumping into the news, let's see, we made a call to action to write some developer guides. Someone came to the forums and was talking about how awesome Concrete5 was compared to his Drupal experience, and how he's switching everything over and loved the community and how could he help. And I suggested, like a little 4-page PDF type deal of how to learn Concrete5 if you're familiar with Drupal would be awfully helpful. We've wanted that for years.
Since the
very beginning. We are not Drupal experts, so we can't write that. But I'm sure there's a Drupal expert out there that loves Concrete5 who would enjoy writing that, and we would enjoy having you write it for us. I think did we post about this to the blog, Julia?
I think we did.
I think we did. I think if you look in the blog, you'll find a post about it. But if you write a how to get started with Concrete5 for X developers how-to for us.
Yeah, WordPress one.
WordPress would be great, Joomla would be great, Drupal, even ModX and Silverstripe, all those would be cool. If you know one that I didn't put on that blog post, I'm probably interested in it. You just shoot me a message, I'll tell you yay or nay. But I'll send you stuff. I'll send you a free copy of e-commerce. I'll give you a whole bunch of karma points. I'll send you some buttons in the mail.
They're awesome.
They're awesome. I'll send you stickers, a t-shirt, whatever. What else did I say? Anything else that I said send them, Julia?
I think that's it.
That's it. But if you need something more, you let me know. I really want those. So if you've got some expertise and would like to share that, I just think it'd be so helpful for people trying to get past that learning curve to know that, like, a node in Drupal is a page type in Concrete5 or whatever it may be. So that's the first thing. We'd love to have your help. Thank you. The next thing that you should know about is we're in the middle of a leap year sale. Leap into savings, spring into savings, leap into savings deal. So if you want a copy of e-commerce and you've been waiting for that special price just for you, or if you want a copy of e-commerce with a sexy theme, or with all the shipping gateways, or with the digital downloads, or basically with any of the many add-ons that it works with, Julia has taken time to get all sorts of special offers together, put them together into one sweet page that Matt's about to show you. Leap year e-commerce savings. So there's a bunch of deals, and some of the larger ones actually include physical items in the mail. There is a sweet Leap into Savings badge that we've made, so you'll get added to a elite permissions group on the site, so you'll always have this badge. I think we have an image of that. Do you have that, or does that not make it into our... There we go. Who 366? Because
I get it.
Right?
With
He's
you.
leaping. I'm not sure why there's an I.
There's a lot happening in
There's
that.
a lot.
I like
There's a
that.
throwing star, but I'm not sure where the I don't know. That's interesting. But that's the badge, and you'll get it, and we'll actually make a button for it as well, so you can wear it with pride to your local Concrete5 meetup.
How long does that last?
That ends on the 9th, I think, right, Julia?
Yeah.
Started on the 29th, and act now, right?
Yeah, heck now.
Act now. Yes. Oh, there's a theme contest that has started. So what is that? That is Concrete5 C5addicts.us.
Oh, wow.
Right off the tongue. But these are the same fellas that ran the 30 themes in 30 days promo last year in March. Just trying to flush out the offerings of themes in our marketplace. I think this year it's all about making a super dialed in, high quality theme, and lots of cool prizes, add-ons and whatnot. Getting some t-shirts out of us, I imagine, as well. But if you are a designer, or even if you're just a developer that would like to convert some free themes, this is a great month to do it. There's extra perks involved, so that's worth checking out. I think there's a page that will emerge on our site about it as well, and when that does get approved, we'll stick it in the blog. But meanwhile, c5addicts.us, and you'll probably find it from there.
Awesome.
Let's see. In other news, we killed initial support requests this week.
With extreme prejudice.
With that.
Maybe not extreme prejudice.
No, we just did it.
We just did it.
For those of you that don't know, we used to offer our services on a very immediate basis. If you went through our little support, how do I get help support tree thing, one of the final steps was, well, if it's really that bad, you can pay us $125 and we'll look at your problem and see if we can help you. And it was nice when we did it. I think it was valuable to some people. We have found that it is extraordinarily distracting. That generally we end up fixing hosting problems. That it's kind of the least cost-effective way to fix the hosting problem. If you're going to spend $2 a month on a budget host, it doesn't make a lot of sense paying $125 an hour for us to try to fix your site.
Host your site for the next 6 years.
Yeah, just expectations were out of check all the way around. If you've got a project you want us to work on, we will still happily do that. I just can't have all of my guys dropping everything, running around for someone who has broken their site when there's any number of really good ways to solve that problem in the first place. Post with us, find a vendor that you like, post to the free jobs board, use the free forums. There's an awful lot of ways to get help, so that one has to end.
Our community is amongst the most quick to respond of any that I've seen.
Yes, the forums are very friendly and helpful.
You'll get an answer if you go there with those.
So you'll get an answer. Yeah, and I don't imagine that the crowd watching this video is going to be particularly disappointed by that news, but if you were relying on being able to just fill out a form and have my staff drop everything and worry about your problem tomorrow, you should probably not rely on that anymore. On the flip side, if you are a freelancer or a small web shop and would like to hear from people who have very immediate problems and would love some help, we'd like to hear from you, because there's going to be some folks that are going to want to know, well, who should they talk to? And right now we're saying, well, post to the job forum and that'll be okay. But if we had a short list of people who wouldn't mind debugging a backup problem or fixing pretty URLs on GoDaddy, this is your big chance.
Yeah.
You can get on top of those leads, and in all seriousness, sometimes those do really emerge into more kind of ongoing, oh, hey, now that we got this working, can I pay you a couple of grand to make it prettier or whatever? So,
well, and what's cost effective to us or to someone else is not to us, and vice versa.
Yes.
So, you might find a lucrative stream of revenue.
that might be a good way for you to build your business, but it's not helping mine. So if you would like to be on that list, you should find Julia in the forums and PM her. She is just Julia. Pretty easy to find. Yes. The flip side to that is now we got so much free time.
We got all kinds of crazy projects.
We're going to start all sorts of stuff. No, not really, but we did free up a little time, and so we're going to reapply that time to having our support techs just spend more time wandering the forums, helping out where the community has been unable to. So we're going to we're going to soft launch a new segment today. We don't have the awesome intro video for it yet, but we will. But we're just going to talk about some interesting forum threads that have happened in the last week. Kind of, 5 best comments a la Mashable, and call attention to those. So I know we got a couple, and we actually were able to scrounge 5 up. We've got a couple, and then 1 or 2 I wanted to try to actually solve right now. What do we have? I know there was one that was really cool that involved Chad Strat. Someone came in, said, hey, do you guys have Woo Forms working on Concrete5? This is a alternative to our built-in form builder, which is, light with a TE at best.
So it's a hosted solution.
The hosted solution lets you build a form and do pretty stuff with it. And someone asked, "Hey, does Foo Form exist and for Concrete5?" And I said, "No, but not to my knowledge. But it'd be awfully awesome if someone did." Yeah, there I am saying that. When was that, Matt? On the 20-something, 28th.
28th at 9:55 a.m.
And
really?
yeah, and someone else was like, "Yeah, the API is free, bros." And then Chad was like, "I'm going to do it." When did Chad said I'm going to do it?
At 7:07 p.m.
Same day. Wow.
I went ahead and did it.
Now it's done. Went to the PRB, and boom. Did you approve it?
It's approved.
It is approved.
How
It's
about
on the
that?
list.
How about that?
That is a timeline of effective communication and a project that can get things done.
That's something.
Yeah.
People know what they're doing, getting things in the PRB and out of them. Bet you there wasn't a lot of bugs in it, right? Just boom. Approved. Love it. So that was cool. Thank you, Chad. Thanks for everyone involved with that. And that's awesome. That's the way things should go every day.
Totally.
Great forum
48
post.
hours, yeah.
What was our next great forum post?
Let's see, we got one about the edit bar. Is that what you're thinking of, or?
That doesn't sound quite so great.
That's long.
We
Which
got
was
one.
that?
Got one about permissions.
We can do the edit bar.
We're going to do the edit bar. The permissions one we're going to answer right now.
Okay.
I think what were you thinking about the edit bar one, Julia? Was it awesome? Looked like it was
Yeah,
helpful.
good answer.
There's a good answer. Someone had a problem. Let's
It
look
looked
at
like I
it.
solved it.
What was the problem, Matt?
Looks like this user had their edit toolbar disappear when they upgraded to 5.5.1.
That would be very disconcerting.
That would be.
Yeah. And then someone came along and helped them, perhaps?
Looks like
Perhaps that green post?
Yeah.
Stephen Cummins jumps in and MKLY
Boom.
solved it with one attempt.
Nice. So if you don't know, the reason that header is green is because there's actually a little button you can press on any forum post in a thread if you started it that says, "This is the best answer. This did it." And when you press that, it doles out some karma points for people, and yourself included. And it also makes it a lot easier for us to find this stuff.
And there's even a button at the top of the post that if it's been answered, you can jump right to
Jump
the,
right to the best answer. Cut through the chat, which
Yeah.
is good, because if you scroll all the way down, you can see there's a
doesn't-
whole lot of jibber jabber.
It definitely does not stop. It never stops.
Well, you can mark another answer best later. So the best answer can always migrate down. But that best answer feature is awesome, and everyone should use it more because it really helps us kind of search the forums and find things that are
It's very helpful.
have been answered, if you will. And there's also the I found this thread helpful post,
Yeah.
so other people can chime in and say, yeah, that one solved my problem before I even had to post to it.
We use that data to
We-
choose what to show when.
Yeah,
So
we
it's
like
helpful.
data. It's cool. Now what? We want to do that permissions one?
Sure.
All right, this is a forum post we saw that looked like it should be answered, but hadn't been yet. So we're going to answer it right now.
Let's answer it.
So Amado is having problems with permissions. Permissions, get it to basically work. Install theme at first C5 site, yada yada yada, custom group set of pages, but non-admin hovers over edit for the page. The edit this page button does not exist as it does for super admin. I've done much like that. Turned on advanced permissions. Good. Create a group named content administrator, one named content writer. Sure. Go into dashboard page type default for the page in question. Change the permissions for the area in question. Wait, for the areas in question. Okay. Specifically, change of added each group to the list, checked all the checkboxes for them, and you also added sub-page permissions and timed release permissions. Okay. Gone to each page individually, made sure that permissions read set by page type default. Good. And sub-pages added beneath this page, inherent page type defaults. Sure. Editing bar does not appear for logged in non-super admins. Lulled me into a false sense that everything was okay. When I look closer, my user still doesn't have the button they need to start. Yada yada. And then we have Minchris saying, well, actually, it works just fine. Try inherit from parent. Tried that. No good. Working answers still solved. Well, we have some thoughts.
Yeah, I posit that, I mean, unless he's using area to mean something other than what we typically mean, it sounds to me like he has gone into the page defaults, but and has set permissions on the areas, but has not actually set the permissions on the page for the page at the page type default. So when you go into defaults and you get that blank page, you have to actually hover over the edit bar and set permissions at the page level for whatever default page you're working on, and then say who can edit that page. So that's the first thing I would do, is make sure that the page level permissions for those defaults page were set properly.
Yep, that makes sense.
Then I would go to the page on the front end of the site and edit it and make sure it says it's inheriting from right sidebar defaults, because it should show this page inherits its permissions from where. That would be useful. And then finally I would, this is funny, non-answer, but I do think it actually might help. I would clear my cache.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Because sometimes permissions do get sort of cached together, especially when you're dealing with switching around pages that inherit from pages that inherit from pages.
Yeah, I would just go ahead and turn your site caching just off while you're working on it. Just turn the whole thing off. Your whole experience will make a lot more sense. The only other thought that I had was maybe that timed releases stuff that you're playing with.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mess with that at all. I mean, let's get the thing working first and then limit when it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
Right, so I can imagine maybe it made some weird conflicting window in time or something. I don't know. But yeah, there you go. Make sure that you're actually setting the permissions right at the page level, because if you don't have access to write something to the page, it doesn't matter what you set at an area or a block level.
Yeah.
Those trickle down.
And then if you still can't get it to work, go to the page that's not editable by the people you think it should be editable by, and edit permissions on it and take a screenshot of that.
Yeah.
Post it to the thing.
And try to just do a manual override.
Yeah, just to make sure that anything is working.
Yeah, I'll add that. Just do a manual override a specific page. See if that works and send us a screenshot.
Excellent.
Sweet. There you go. I hope I get marked as best answer.
Then you can be in the Karma Prize machine.
Maybe I've done something.
Yeah.
Is that it? Is that all on our soft? Do we have another thread we want to look at?
Got a couple more actually. Yeah.
Oh, well,
coming in.
Let's do it.
All right. This one looks like it's about installation. I just want to take a shot at this.
Tell me more.
This is from Calico Moose.
Ooh.
They ask, I'm in the process of transferring a client site to a new hosting provider. I've never transferred a C5 site before. There are several things about the site that make it so I wouldn't mind kind of starting over from a clean install. Question is this: if I set up a brand new install at C5 on my new server, will I still be able to transfer over things like our users, logins, and such?
Well, I could answer it, but let's see what the. Is there an official answer? No.
It's marked yet. Got one from John the Fish.
It looks like a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Much safer to transfer your existing site with the same C5
Version.
that's been stable.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to move the database, so probably makes sense just to go ahead and move the thing. Couldn't agree more, John. Yeah, okay. That looked like that was pretty well answered.
Cool.
Yeah, those are both good answers.
Both valid answers.
Yeah.
We have one more, maybe. Let's
Sweet.
take a look. This one is best practices for styling e-commerce pages.
Ah.
And this sounds like one that some folks that I know could get some use out of.
So I'm going to just go out on a limb and say this is about tables in the product list block.
This is from Grove SK. Groves K. She says, I've installed e-commerce add-on twice, and it's great, except I always have to override the CSS to get it to display properly inside my theme. Checkout pages don't have a white background, so you can't read anything. So, looks like she's added some styles to her theme. Is this best practice, or is it just a hack job?
Oh. And there's no answers yet?
No answers.
Oh.
Seems like decent enough practice. I mean, you're not modifying any core files. You've got all your style sheets in one spot. We could probably do a bit more with the styling on e-commerce to make it so that it's more easily modifiable. I think our theme developers might like that. But, I mean, they modify e-commerce's style by shipping e-commerce themes with special styles in it that correspond to the ones we use for the cart and stuff like that. And I think that's a decent enough way to make it work on your own site, to be honest with you.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks like all the modifications that she's making are pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
And that's probably how I recommend doing it.
That's all the checkout stuff she's worried about.
Yeah.
Well.
Probably the least painful way of doing this is exactly this. So.
Well, you should tell her that looks good.
Cool.
Good enough. I mean, the only other thing I would add for someone else who might be watching this and doesn't actually have that problem, but is interested in the collection of problems that dances with, is that there are some custom templates for e-commerce that are worth exploring. People often miss that. I think we still kind of ship e-commerce. The product list box use tables and stuff like that people generally frown on.
Yeah, and the checkout is a little irritating because it's laid out with tables as well. In terms of it lays out its fields in tables, whereas it might be nice if it laid them out in divs just so that you had.
Yeah, well, that's something that we would have to change. But I think already today, if you are having a hard time skinning the product block and the product list block, there's some custom templates in there that will actually strip all that and just give you nice divs that you can deal with.
Yeah.
Which you get less flexibility out of like the built-in layout controls inside that product list block.
Yeah,
but
I know.
if you're designing the thing anyways, then you probably don't need that. So there is a way to kind of sidestep that approach, at least at the product level, although less so for checkout. All right, well that was some interesting threads from the community, and felt like a fun segment that we should maybe make an intro thing for and kind of do a little prep on. Do we want to do Karma and then PRB?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. I don't think we got any Karma pictures this week.
We don't.
Disappointing.
We do have some winners.
Yeah, so we sent out all those stickers, but no one sent us any pictures back. So, as always, I'll remind you, if you'd like us to send you stickers, we will happily put stickers in the U.S. postal mail. And to do that, you would have to give us your mailing address. There's a form at the bottom of our swag page underneath the marketplace where you can put in your address, and that has to be a mailing address. I cannot send stickers to an email or just Joe. And yeah, if you get stickers, take a picture, shoot them back, we'll give you a plug on Totally Random. Let's see if the Karma machine ran.
And the weekly Karma winners, come on down.
It did! It ran! Thank God. It looks like this week, Lucas Anderson won a message of the day for helping people. Lucas is helpful.
He is helpful.
We appreciate that, Lucas. Looks like Pervnaglia won a flash gallery for promoting the project. Good.
That is good.
Promotion is nice. And Julia won a copy of the contact directory for doing work. Yeah, Julia! Now you can keep track of all your contacts. So there you go. Thank you very much for everything that you guys have been doing. It looks like there's new Karma points being logged already. So it's great to be part of an active community where people help one another. Thank you. PRB?
Sure, let's do it
Feels
up.
like it's time
Open
for
it.
And now it's time for the peer review bar.
Featuring new themes and add-ons.
Oh, it cracks me up every time that those people say nothing. Alright, so I think we got through a bunch of stuff this week. In
Yeah,
PRB.
we got a few themes out
Pretty
there.
active. How do we want to roll through them, Andy?
Let's just go through them chronologically.
All right.
Zach. Just click on through. I think it starts with the social login.
Social logs.
Oh, wait, actually, what's Black
Black
Boots?
Boots?
Yeah.
Black Boots got released, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there anything in for a theme for?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Postco's taking a lesson from
Blackman.
Blackman.
Compelling imagery.
Welcome to our responsive website. So this is going to be responsive, although you're never be able to tell that from our weird YouTube stream thing, because anytime we resize a window, all sorts of weird gobbledygook happens.
Yeah, fire it up on your own.
But yeah, it's pretty nice.
It's cool. You could definitely tell that this is Bootstrap inspired, if perhaps not using Bootstrap necessarily. Actually, probably is.
All right.
That is
That's quite a screenshot. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of different page types. It looks like.
Strongly styled. Yeah. It's nice.
A lot of different buttons. It actually looks like it's using Bootstrap 2.0, if that means anything to you, because
Sweet.
they added those drop-down buttons in 2.0.
There's a lot of style to this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jumbo pink button.
This probably works very well with the buttons add-on that I think the Bootstrap buttons add-on that I believe is from HostCo as well.
Nice.
If you need your buttons and your add-on to work well with them. There you go.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Good one.
Black boots.
Thanks. Let's go.
Moving right along, we've got social login. This is always, this is kind of something that people want. We've got the idea in the hopper to integrate different authentication systems into Concrete5, and we've had it in there for a while, but it's just been kind of sitting.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, other people have been putting together their own, workable solutions toward that, and these work. And so we're glad to see them. This has been in the PRB for a while because, as you might imagine, it's difficult or it's rather time-consuming to test.
Mm-hmm.
But we have gone through a number of these solutions, and these are all the different third-party login systems that it supports, which is
Nicely played, yeah.
yeah. It uses a standard that they all kind of share. Like, I don't think it's OpenID. It's something OAuth, something or other. But yeah, so if you need any of those on your site and you want to offer authentication to a wide swath of different audiences, this is a good thing for you.
Sweet.
Looks like next add-on is called Image Banner, and this is I think it's a block, right, that lets you crop an image as well as display it.
Sounds right. I think this might have emerged out of a forum thread where someone was like, "Hey, I built this. Do you think that anyone else would want it?" And people were all, "Oh, yeah, we definitely want it." And I think that was like 2 weeks ago. Within 2 weeks, it became an approved add-on in the PRB.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I can see.
Chop things together.
Very nice. Yeah,
Cool.
the last screenshot makes it kind of clear why you can kind of see that actually being used in a production environment.
Right, yeah.
As opposed to...
Why would I put all these sheep together?
Yeah, exactly. Oh,
Nice.
Good. Looks great.
Thank you.
Next is Foo Forms, and this is the add-on Franz was talking about. This is by Chad Stratt in response to a request in under 3 days, under 2 days.
Not bad.
This, integrates with Wufoo and lets you pull in a form you've created on their site into your Concrete5 site, and it'll manage all the responses and presumably gives you more, inputs and formatting controls and stuff like that. So very cool. Very cool. Nice job, Chad. Nice
Thanks,
turnaround.
Yeah. And nice job, PRB team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Getting that stuff through the door.
Next is Eco Green. This is a theme that has a decidedly green sort of tint to itself.
And eco.
And eco.
Super eco. Nice.
Looks like we've got a sort of gray
I like stylized.
nav across the top that sort of pops out. That's pretty cool.
I always like those stylized forms.
Oh yeah.
So much you can do with a form. That,
You can.
if
You've
you
got a
want
lot
to
better.
put the work into it, And always good to see all the headers defined and whatnot.
Yeah.
Keeping it from being too sloppy. Good.
Yeah. Moving right along, we've got another theme, Viewport. And this is a magazine, sort of an online magazine style theme. I wonder if this has a responsive layout as well. This is C5 Mix. He puts a lot of work into his theme.
Sure does.
He actually styles his page to look nice in the off-site marketplace browser, which
That's
is a smart call.
Smart and thoughtful.
Yeah. This is a great looking theme. Like if you're running an online blog or magazine with different categories, like you would do well to start from something like this. Very photo based.
That's nice.
Some cool different sort of featured image treatments across the top. Nice nav treatment across the top as well with the sections. Very cool. Got advertisement space in IAB formats. Very smart. Nice work. And finally, the last theme we have is called Major Marketing. And, looks like this one is responsive as well. And this is from HostCo. And looks like it's set up to promote software and app store style stuff. It's kind of a these for one-off product sites. This is sort of a cousin to the other theme that got approved this week, the Black Boots one. You can definitely tell that nav is from the same from the same family of navigational elements.
Company name.
bootstrappy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's another flavor if you want something that's a little bit lighter, perhaps
White
a little bit more colorful.
Cool.
Very nice, everyone.
Good work. I think the backlog in the PRB is being flushed out. Saw a number of PRB submissions being deleted this week just
That's
because
good.
they hadn't had any activity in a month or more.
That's good.
That's going to continue to happen just because it's very difficult to start cleaning your house when you look around and all you see is lunches from
Yeah.
3 months ago.
Get
or so
rid of that
ago.
stuff first, and then get to it. Yeah.
Get the whole thing going. Keep it clean.
Absolutely.
So we're going to start doing that, and we're actually going to, I read it for this meeting, and I got another meeting, and then we're doing like a...
Does that mean we're going to clean the office after this meeting?
No. No. We're just getting it properly resonated in here. So comfortable.
It's true. It's lived in.
Yeah, I know where everything is. All these Tupperwares make sense to me. No, but we are going to be getting into those PRB changes that we've been alluding to
nice.
for a long time. So yeah, guess what? Next week we're going to be doing PRB
Nice.
stuff. Yeah, so we have some architecture happening this afternoon about how the new PRB is going to behave and anything that we can think of to help kind of automate the process and give better tools to the community so things continue to go quickly in there.
That's good.
So that's what's next for us, amongst other things.
I've got a question from John the Fish, and I would feel bad if we skipped this. She sent it to me in a private message, so I might have overlooked
Let's
it.
do it.
Okay, so I'm going to bring this up.
Should we? Okay, yeah. Here we go.
The private message.
Please post this question on today's Totally Random. Please explain the differences between file set types.
I can do that.
In particular, if I want an image set to be only edited by one owning user by system administrators, it is not visible to other users in the file manager, but whose file is displayed in a gallery.
The short answer is you can do what you want, and I'll explain how in a second, but it does not apply to those types at all. So what these types represent are when you create a file set, you can create, if you create one through the dashboard page that's called file sets, that will be public. And what that means is it's a file set that's available to all people who can see file sets in the file manager. So you header images, stuff like that. But you can also add stuff to file sets by just clicking on an image or a file in the file manager and say add to set. And at the bottom of that little dialog window, you've got a little checkbox that says make this set public. You can, if you unclick that, you are able to make a file set that only you can work with and see. It doesn't affect any of the permissions of images inside it. It just is for your own personal organization. So the difference between those file sets is that it's for your own personal organization versus site-wide organizational tools.
So those permissions do not trickle down from sets.
Yeah,
It's
and they're
just can I see the set or not?
Yeah, and it's not permission based at all. It's just how is that set displayed to me, and that's why there's one in there called starred, because when you actually click that little star next to a file, you are creating a personal file set for yourself that's called starred files, and then that way you can see all the files that you have marked as starred at a certain point. But that doesn't affect anyone else's starred files, which is why it's a private file set.
So what this fine fellow is trying to do is actually manage the permissions on an actual file.
Correct, or at the file set level, because it says I want an image file set that can only be edited by the owning user and system administrators, is not visible to other users, but whose files display in a gallery visible to everyone. What you want to do is turn on advanced permissions, and then when you do that, you'll see a checkbox. If you make the set public, it will show up in your dashboard file sets interface. And when you click on it to move files around or something like that, if you have advanced permissions on, you'll see a checkbox that says enable permissions for this file set. And at that point, you'll be able to control who can see the files in that set, see them, period, which is, you'll want to say everyone, because you want these files to be viewable by people on the front end of the site. Then then it'll say who can see these in the file manager, who can search for these files. You'll want to only set that to the groups that you want to be able to find those in the file manager. And finally, it'll say who can edit these files. You'll want to either say the owner or the administrator. Mm-hmm. And that should do what you want.
Cool.
So you can do what you need with advanced permissions and those advanced permissions have nothing to do with those 3 types of
And today those permissions would be inclusive as well. So if a file were multiple sets,
Yes.
but the permissions were different for those sets, we would honor the most forgiving approach.
Yes, for whoever's looking at the thing at the given point. And that's going to still be the way it is going forward. It's kind of, as you might imagine, a fun set of assumptions you get to make when you got that.
Cool. Well, let's start up the how would you do that thing, because we're preemptively how would we doing it.
How would we do that?
There we go. I feel much better about answering questions now. Are there other questions, Matt?
Oh, there sure are.
Oh boy.
All right. Got maybe a quick one from Brian Lewis. He'd
Okay.
like to know, how are advanced permissions changing in 5.5.2?
Dramatically.
Next question.
You can, I would probably demo that next week.
Yeah.
Very totally random. It's pretty cool. If you are, if you're into the Git, you can go and find it. But pretty wholesale. We're changing the UI around it. You can now do combined groups. So instead of just being able to pick a bunch of groups that can do something, you can say, look, you have to be in administrators and Cleveland to edit the Cleveland page. We also have exclusions now, so you could say, look, anyone who is an administrator is in Cleveland except for Julia because she's messing up the Cleveland page. So you can add exclusions at the end. You can do timed releases on all permissions, so you can start to do things like the editing window for this page is only until Friday for these people, but through Saturday. I mean, the sky is the limit.
And the timed releases used to just be on. They used to just be on the page level. Now it's on any permission
Anything, yeah, so
anywhere.
you can do time releases on content within a page.
You can recur.
Recurring, so every Thursday I want to show the special offer on the side. So fancy pants stuff.
Oh yeah, lots of
I mean,
crazy stuff.
You name it, it can do it. So go play with it on your own if you're that curious, or wait till this time next week when we'll kind of show off what it does.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Sure.
We got it.
There you go. Boom. Next
All right.
question.
Next one's from J.A. Steele of 123.
Yes.
He asks, how would he build a site kind of like Craigslist? Members with no dashboard access can post to for sale or trade pages with title, description, and 3 thumbnails. Once posted, the page shows their post and has a contact form that emails the poster without giving out their email address, but they get the responders.
Well, I think the basic question that you're asking yourself from an architecture standpoint on building something like that is, are you making pages at some point in the tree for each listing, or are you going to somehow clump these underneath user accounts in some way?
It looks like he would like to make pages.
I would agree with
That
that.
would be a smart way to do it.
Yeah.
So you're going to need to organize those somehow. Maybe there's just one big node that is listings and they all dump in there.
Yeah.
But maybe there's some locality to it, or by topic or something.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe you make a single page to.
That's what I would do. We've done this on our own site for the job board before we sort of simplified it.
Sure.
We had a single page that posted to its own controller, and when it posted, it would create pages every time a user wanted to submit a job, and create a page, add a content block in the main area on that page, and then it would set the advanced permissions on that page to have certain expiration times. So, that page would be viewable, for 7 days or however long, and then from the point of it being created, and then it would stop being viewable by guest. At which point the page doesn't go away, but it's effectively.
Yeah, that's how the showcases work on our site. That's even how the PRV or the marketplace works.
Yeah.
Basically, there's a number of single pages to manage the marketplace interface, but eventually we're making a set of pages for you over underneath add-ons or underneath themes. So that's the basic approach I would take. The other tidbit that I would offer is Tony just came out with a jobs add-on.
Yeah, or you could sidestep this entirely.
I have not played with Tony's jobs add-on in detail, but I would have to imagine that a little creative thinking, you could turn jobs into classifieds.
Oh yeah, I would think so too. I'm sure he's building pages that can be searchable, and if you know what you're doing, you can probably customize how you search those, which fields.
Yeah, it may not be a bad starting point, and if Tony's watching, you might think about changing some variables around and offering that as a couple of different add-ons for a couple of these different verticals, because classifieds and jobs are basically the same problem. Next.
Let's see. Do we have an estimate on when 552 will come out?
April.
Yeah, sometime around then.
Right around the time Picnic goes away.
Yeah.
Jay still adds, he wants to know if we have any pointers for code that's not dashboard related. Probably in reference to the project we were just talking about.
Code for that's not dashboard. Like making a single page? There's some how-tos for that.
I hadn't even necessarily thought that any of it would be dashboard related.
No.
The job posting page on concrete5.org is a single page, and it just lives in the tree /post_job or whatever, and that's where I would expect yours would live. And
check out the infamous FAQ how-to, right? That's pretty much what we do.
yeah, it lives in the dashboard, but there's no reason why it could live anywhere.
Did you guys address the ability for users to, say, edit their own posts and edit pictures from their interface?
Well, you're going to have to put some thought into it, but if that single page interface exists, you could probably use it for both adding and editing.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how. Yeah, exactly. That's how our how-tos work. You can when you are on your how-to page, you can, until it's published at least, you can click. You can see an edit button or an edit link, and it'll load that how-to up in a separate single page interface. And they don't have images on them, but the PRB or the marketplace edit does.
I would make a lot of custom. I'd make a page type for listing, and I would make a lot of custom attributes that store all your data, like whatever you're going to search by, your photos, and that kind of stuff. So, tend to err on making custom attributes for things as opposed to custom blocks that you then have to somehow instantiate and create from the single page.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to programmatically save custom attributes than it is. I mean, not a lot easier, but making the edit interface for that stuff is easier.
Be simpler
It's an
for you.
attribute, yeah.
What else you got?
Okay, this is one that's from Lahik. He asks, any solution to form results view not fitting into the new dashboard UI when the form has a lot of questions?
I'm not really sure how to deal with that.
I know. Yeah, Ryan and I were talking about that at one point. I mean, Bootstrap 2.0 has views that are more of a responsive nature as opposed to fixed to whatever 960. I don't know if we're going to get that in there by 5.5.2 because they changed it fairly wholesale, and I'm hope that we're not locked into Bootstrap 1.4, but I certainly don't want to have to jump through a bunch of UI hoops like we did for 5.5. So in the short term, we could make it so that viewport, if it bounds outside it, you get a scroll bar on the bottom. Otherwise, I'm not really sure what we can do.
I would click the export to Excel button.
Yeah.
Okay, this is one, I think we answered this partially last week, but
Sweet, let's answer it again.
all right. Have we found a replacement solution for the departure of Picnic yet?
Yes, we're going to build it ourselves. It'll just do what we want, and it'll do it well. Cropping, rotating, scaling, but no remove red eye or add sepia tone. So, and it'll also just be built into Concrete5. It'll work with stuff that we already require out of every server setup, and it'll be
No
fast.
moving in and out of server, so no firewall or
Weird
internet
curl
concerns.
issues or whatnot. So, and then we won't ever have some big company buy our partner and then decide that it doesn't need to exist, so we have to run around and change stuff later. Google!
And is that coming around in 5.5.2?
Yes, that is the whole reason that we have to release something in April. Thanks again, Google.
All right, I think that does it for the questions. Anyone want to sneak one in?
Sweet. This is your final countdown, friends.
Oh God, we need that song at the end of.
Final countdown. I'm not going to get any doodle-doos.
I'm gonna let it be.
Okay. We got a question.
I knew it! Amy, shut me up.
This is from Chad Stride. We got 2 questions, actually. But let's do this one first. What is the reason for the 3 blank alerts in the ccm-app.js file that break the multi-user picker helper?
Those things are just there if they're meant to. You see those if you have not defined a function that's supposed to be there, and I think the reason you're seeing that's if you're using a custom user picker, and the reason you might see that if you are the reason you might see that in 5.5 if you're using our built-in stuff is probably just a bug, because the way we include JavaScript now, we had to tweak the way we call that JavaScript function. So I feel like I actually fixed that and pushed it into GitHub between 5.5.1 and today. If not, it may be something that I can fix at some point soon. Because I know I did this with, when was that sent?
He sent this to me just today.
Okay. It's possible that, well, I know we fixed this for the single user picker. It's possible the multi-user picker has the same issue. And if that's the case, the reason is there's a function that the multi-user picker defines, and then since we're loading JavaScript in the footer now, our built-in, hey, you need to define this function alert message gets defined after. So what we need to do is just wrap that function in, wait for the page to load JavaScript stuff. So I can do that. So there's no rhyme or reason to it. It sounds like a bug.
Sweet.
Okay.
Post that to the bugs. Send out an email.
Yeah.
All right, so a couple more questions.
Okay.
John the Fish wants to know, why is there a difference in results between dashboard search for add-ons and concrete5.org search for add-ons?
Because we filter out expert and bleeding edge add-ons in the dashboard search, because we don't want you installing something super easily into your site that could just wholesale break your site. And we also filter out add-ons you already have installed.
Yep, if you already got it, you don't see it, which is almost always what people are, because they install it on their test site and they go, I wonder what it looks like in the marketplace, and they're like, it's not there!
Well, and it's also the developer of the add-on.
Yeah,
They're like, I want to make sure that it shows up, and like, wait a minute.
Already installed.
So that's always what it is. So, we might, I don't see us changing the first one anytime soon, but we might include ones you have installed with a
message
already installed. And then,
maybe post a review.
Yeah.
That'd be smart.
Or, because I have wanted to be able to get to the reviews page for an add-on I have installed and then search for it, and that's a little frustrating.
That's a good idea.
Okay. Ollie Phillips wants to know, have you guys considered allowing developers to connect sites to the Concrete5 marketplace to show only their add-ons?
Yes, we have considered that.
Yeah, if we did something like that, we want to do it in a way that we thought could solve, any number of problems at one time. So we'd kick around that idea.
Yeah, that's been less the motivation. We've kicked around the idea of having the ability to upload your own packages and not make them available in the marketplace, and then be able to connect your customer sites to your private package collection for kind of like a white labeling partner thing. We were then thinking, well, then you could maybe even pick which add-ons and themes you want to make available to your customers. So you could start to say, like, well, look, Concrete5 exists, but Joey Smartpants have filtered through all the add-ons that I like that you should feel safe with, customer, and so you're going to get a highly curated view of the marketplace. Private marketplace. We've talked about all that. Frankly, the challenge with it is it's a lot of work, and I'm not sure it's particularly valuable.
Are people going to do that?
Want that? Like, what's that worth to you? We've kind of come around to the thinking that it doesn't make a lot of sense for us to invest energy in ideas that developers have to pay for. That generally the folks buying the add-ons, our hosting services, much of where the money is coming from is the client. So building a lot of infrastructure for a white labeling partner type deal that we're then going to sell to you for whatever X a year, It's just super hard. Who do I price that for? Do I price it for freelance guy? Or do I price it for big agency? And
I've always
is that
found
a great way to make money?
Hard to understand. Like in this example, most developers I know who want to lock it down to only the things that they trust, well, they're not going to want to just open it up for those things, but then say, okay, here's a list of things, now go nuts. Like they're going to say, okay, if you want a calendar on your site, let's have that conversation,
right.
And I'll do that for you, and I'll make it look nice, and it's going to cost 10 times as much, but it'll be exactly what you want.
Yeah, I guess we're saying like, why would we control how you do business? And the only way I can think of providing that is saying, well, this is how we do it. This is how you should do it. There's a lot of ways to build websites. I'm not going to tell you which way is right or wrong. For you. Tell everyone here which way is wrong. What else you got, Matt?
Okay. Lahik adds that the form results problem he was looking at actually looks pretty good if you just take the width of the results table and put it into the surrounding span 16 wrapper div and add 40 pixels to the width due to padding. So it's like he's working on some sort of fix for that.
Sweet. Well, if it looks good, submit it as a pull request and get, and maybe we'll stick it in there if it works for everyone.
All right, I think that does it for the questions.
Okay.
Sweet.
Well, thank you once again for tuning in for Totally Random. Always fun for us. We got some new segments starting here, and good stuff. So we will see you next week. Next week, we're going to firmly commit to it, right? I mean, it's ready to show. Yeah. Next week, we will demo the advanced permissions that will be in 5.2.2, and you'll all love it. So until then, thank you, and goodbye.
Fridays at 10 a.m. Pacific Time.